why don't you like Ozempic? Because
Oh my God.
Ozempic helps with weight loss. And then I just read something in the paper this week saying they're finding a new side effect of it is reducing addictions. Like it's reducing cravings for alcohol, for drugs, for, things that are bad for you. So
is that anecdotal? There's no clinical trial.
Yeah, I think it's anecdotal.
Right.
So, so you can no longer be obese and you could curb your cravings and your, emotional food dependence from childhood is no longer ruling your life thanks to the miracle of Ozempic or Wegovy or the other ones.
Wegovy, Rybelsus, all the things. There's another one that starts with an M. I can't even remember the name.
Manjaro.
That's right. It's a bird of the exact same feather. Okay, so first, let's address the following. People often think that Ozempic is being prescribed off-label for obesity. Ozempic is semaglutide. Wegovy is semaglutide. Wegovy is, oh my gosh, forgive me. The FDA has approved Wegovy as an anti-obesity drug. It's not off-label. It's simply a higher dose of semaglutide. Now that
it's a higher dose than Ozempic.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So with that said, I don't actually like this for people with type 2 diabetes. There are other options that have less side effects, like Jardiance, metformin.
There must be, because these drugs are new and people have had diabetes for many, many years. So there's got to be some other diabetic drugs.
Let's go a step further, though. This isn't type 1 diabetes. It's type 2 diabetes, which means we bring it on by eating too much garbage food, and we develop a resistance to insulin. You can resensitize the body to insulin because the most effective drug for doing that is exercise. It's not obviously a drug. Point being that you can reverse type 2 diabetes with no side effects that are negative, only upside by changing what you eat and exercising. And now let's say you turned around and you were like, but Jill, the emotional side is beating me down. It's hard and it's getting the best of me every time. And I'd be the first to say, I've seen it, I know it, I understand it. And there's a reason that 95% of the people who lose weight put it back on. And this is the reason, because whatever the food is providing them, they're unconsciously not ready to let go of. Okay, so we think this is our workaround. But the reality is that you can only be on it for, 60 weeks, a year and a half, roughly?
On one of these drugs?
Yep.
Okay.
And then the clinical trials have shown that within the first year, people put 2/3 of their weight back on. It's not a permanent fix.
Even while they're still on it?
No, once they get off of it.
Okay.
So after a year and a half.
Why can they only stay on it for the 60 weeks?
This is how long they've studied it for. That is the full duration of the treatment with that drug. And I would imagine, because of the extensive side effects, and if you go to the website, you will see everything from kidney failure to thyroid cancer to nausea and vomiting. It's right there.
There was an article this week about crapping the bed.
Oh, lovely. Yeah,
about how it makes you constipated,
what a
and
good
then
time.
these people are taking, laxatives and overcorrecting, shall we say?
Yeah.
And so that could impact your sex life as well.
Tremendously, I would imagine. Yes, that's a very good. I haven't brought that one up yet, but I'm going to use it from now on.
I'm skinny.
I will credit you.
Hot, but I crap the bed.
Perfect. Oh my gosh.
Anyway.
Yeah. So that's what it anecdotally also causes facial aging, Ozempic face, sarcopenia.
You lose all this weight.
I don't buy that. I'm not buying that one. I've taken a lot of weight off of a lot of people. They look better, not worse. I'm small. You're small. You look great.
Thank you.
I don't see any
But if I had
facial
50
aging.
pounds, 2 months ago, and then lost to this weight, I'd probably be saggy.
I'm going to say no.
No?
I've done it a million times, and they look fantastic.
Oh.
So I think there's something else going on with how it's affecting us on a cellular level that's creating this accelerated aging. Personally, I have no data to back it up. If I had to guess at what's going on, that would be my guess. It's not a permanent fix. The side effects are extreme. I would say get a therapist. Honestly, get a therapist, get into counseling, and pursue this with safer drugs if you need help in that area while you're in this transition process of dealing with the
safer
emotional
drugs? Like,
metformin is safer. There is no question.
What is that? What's metformin?
It's metformin is another medication developed for diabetes, but you see doctors who specialize in longevity, like Dr. David Sinclair, who's a Harvard geneticist, one of the most impressive individuals in the space of longevity globally, and he takes metformin.
Oh.
And it has to do with insulin resistance and glucose sensitivity, all this. Long story short, without, I'll let you interview him about that because he can explain it better than me. But the side effects are significantly less. And in many cases, a lot of people who work in that field are taking it for longevity. It's always thrown me off a bit.
Does it have an appetite suppressant side effect?
It doesn't. They're not obese.
Weight loss?
It's utilized to resensitize people. Well, here's how. First, hold on. Let me back up. My apologies. Let me explain how Ozempic works for weight loss. The mechanism of Ozempic with regard to why/how you lose weight. Two things. Number one is that it delays gastric emptying, so it makes you feel fuller for longer. So you eat less.
It makes you actually full for longer. Like
it makes
it's
you
keeping the food in your stomach.
It impacts your endocrine system and the appetite center in your brain to help manage cravings, to make you less hungry, and to literally delay gastric emptying and allow you to feel fuller for longer. What does this do? It makes you eat less. So we're still back to calories in, calories out. It just helps facilitate.
I know this is your big thing. One must do some calorie restriction if one would. Here's the bad news.
Yeah,
one must lower one's calorie consumption to lose weight.
That is it. Unfortunately, we can talk about health. Health is a different animal in some cases.
There we go.
But
this is what Peter Attia was saying too. That you can't be so focused on getting thin that you forget about your health. What is healthy? Right?
Yeah.
Like, what are you eating in a day? How many grams of protein? Do you want to get down to where you're eating absolutely nothing? Right? Like, that makes sense to me. That's not safe. That's not healthy.
No, not at all. But there's a diet called the Twinkie diet, and it was done, I'd say, a decade ago.
No, I was on that when I was 13 and chunky.
Me too.
Yeah, courtesy of my Nana. She loved me.
This was restricted Twinkies.
Yeah. Oh, restricted.
And a professor of nutrition, I believe his name is Mark Haub, to illustrate the point that it is calories in, calories out to facilitate weight loss, ate garbage, but less of it, and lost 27 pounds. I can't remember the time frame. There was like 2 or 3 months. And he did lower his triglycerides, lower his LDL, lower his blood pressure. Obviously, we would want those calories to be great, and organic blueberries and, wild-caught salmon. But if people have a hard time giving those things up, I try to I'm like, listen, just let's start with eating less of them. Let's get you out walking. Mm-hmm. It's just the basics. I keep it as simple as possible for people who struggle, where Ozempic becomes an option. And I'm not expecting that person to go to the gym and do HIIT training 4 to 5 times a week.
Some people take CBD for better sleep or less stress and more calm in their lives. Some take it for pain relief, better energy, or better focus and concentration. Today, I want to tell you about CB Distillery. CB Distillery, and their over 2 million satisfied customers. According to a poll of their customers, 90% reported they sleep better with CBD. 81% said CBD helps with stress, and 80% said CBD helps with aches and pains after physical activity. If you struggle to get a good night's sleep, and if you're dealing with too much stress and could just use a little calm in your life, if you suffer with pain and discomfort, especially after physical exercise, you could give CBD a try from cbdistillery.com. Use my 20% discount by visiting cbdistillery.com and enter my initials MK for your discount. No prescription is required. That's cbdistillery.com, promo code MK for 20% off, cbdistillery.com. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.